Another projected double-digit property tax increase pumping new urgency into the call for education funding reform in Montpelier. Thank you for joining us at 6. I'm Darren Perrin.
And I'm Kiana Burks in for Kat. The governor and State House Democrats in agreement that school consolidation is needed to climb down off the mountain of spiking taxes. Our Calvin Cutler live in our Montpelier bureau. Calvin, what's the governor saying?
Yeah, Kiana and Darren, good evening. The governor and Democratic leaders appear to be on the same page that cutting costs by closing schools and cutting staff appears to be the prudent way forward. But there still remains deep skepticism among some about the timeline and whether cutting and consolidation will even save money. Another legislative session, another year of grappling with federal spending drying up, expensive health care, and the path to making education more affordable.
This session will be more like a horror movie than a Hallmark holiday film.
Wednesday, legislators returned to the State House for a one-day briefing. The buzz in the halls and on the floor, what to do about spiraling school taxes. We are currently in the beginning of December. State lawmakers come back to the State House on January 6th. School budgets normally have to be finalized and warned to voters by the beginning of February. And town meeting day this year is on March 3rd, raising the question of what state lawmakers can do to bring down school spending before Election Day. There are few options. Districts could voluntarily revise their budgets downward, or lawmakers could institute penalties for those that spend more than a set amount. The solution in the past has been for the legislature to move other tax revenues into the education fund to buy down property tax rates. But with other demands on state revenues, both Governor Phil Scott and House Speaker Jill Krowinski are leery of doing that again. Instead, leaders say they're focused on the larger reform effort.
It was long past time to fix the broken system, because the longer we wait, the harder it gets.
Our Act 73 created the framework for how we get there, and we have to talk about consolidation. We have to.
But some in the education community contend consolidation won't save taxpayers money or improve outcomes for kids. That was the conclusion of the redistricting task force, which refused to draw up new maps, cutting the number of districts to just a handful. The task force argues letting districts voluntarily share services would save taxpayers money faster than the projected 3-year timeline for implementing redistricting and a new funding formula. Now, House Speaker Jill Krowinski tells me that she met with over 120 rank-and-file lawmakers over the summer and fall to make the case for redistricting consolidation, that is, the plan that was agreed to last fall. But I asked her if she's worried that election year politics could scuttle those plans. And she says she can't worry about that right now, and that really the only path forward is by continuing down the path of education reform. For now, reporting live in our Montpelier bureau, Calvin Cutler, Channel 3 News.
Calvin Cutler, thank you. And the discussion about property taxes going up to pay for education always leads to questions from you about why the lottery doesn't offset the cost more. Most recently today from Chuck, who asked us where the lottery money goes.
It's something we've dug into for you before in our Getting Answers segment. The short version is that the lottery proceeds do go to the education fund, but they're not as much as you think, because the bulk of what the lottery brings in is used to pay for its operating expenses. So in fiscal year 2024, about $35 million went into the education fund from the lottery. It sounds like a lot, but the education fund is more than $2 billion, so it's really a drop in the bucket.
For a more detailed explanation and to see the other questions we've answered for our viewers, head to the Getting Answers section of our website, WCAX.com. And if you have a question for us, send it to gettinganswers@WCAX.com.